So guys, follow me. Of course, I told you today is a melting day again. But today we're not just looking at my action in the lab and with the melting furnace. I just want to tell you a few things. Maybe you have not heard about glass and its melting. So before you saw me in this lab, I have taken some time to batch my raw materials. Of course, you remember the basic raw materials I told you that are necessary for glass production. That is silica, soda ash, and lime, and then few other additives could be added, but we're not going to discuss that. So before now, I have batched my glass, and it's important that you batch glass well. And before batching, it's also important that you check the purity and composition of those raw materials, because sometimes they are not 100% what they are, and so you need to carry out the XRF analysis, and oftentimes it's good to carry out XRD analysis to ascertain the phases in them. So I did all that. I'm still doing some phase analysis, though I will maybe show you in another video. So before now, I have done all that, and I also put in my glass the previous day because I needed it to get to a very high temperature, so I had to run the furnace overnight. And of course, this morning it maintained the temperature and the dwelling time I needed for my glass to be formed the way I want to analyze it. And so this is me in the lab, of course, pouring the glass, wearing my fire resistant lab coat and all the covering that I will talk about later. You see me there. I know that I'm like masquerade, but anyway. So those are the things that happen. Melting, of course, is a crucial phase because it impacts the homogeneity and clarity of the final glass. So the homogeneity and the clarity of the glass you have depends on how good the melting happened, and a lot of things are involved, both the heating time, both the dwelling time, the temperature, and the composition. And you see, today I had two sets of glass that I melted, two different compositions. So you have seen me, I have poured the first one, and then I am pouring the second one with my assistant always by my side. So what you see there, I'm pouring inside a mold. I have three different molds that I need for the glass, and they are meant for different analysis. And of course, if you watch what I'm doing, after pouring, I'll turn back to add it immediately into the annealing furnace. So this is the forming stage, and then quickly I'll transfer it into the annealing furnace. Of course, I told you annealing furnace is, of course, at a lower temperature based on the kind of glass you're producing. You set your temperature to be able to handle the stress as it should be. Remember, annealing is to kind of, the formed glass is slowly cooled to relieve internal stresses. So it involves holding the glass at a specific temperature and gradually cooling it down to the room temperature. So I will anneal, and after some certain hour, as I set the temperature, I will go and remove my glass, and of course it will be fully done. So this is what I've done today. Look at me. I finished pouring two sets of glass. Look at the one I made the previous day. I'll just who is that dance for? This is love, girl. Please do quickly and come out anyway. I am well protected. So I just want to show you the glass I made the previous day. Yeah, a very nice glass. This is still a different composition. You see how it came out after forming and annealing, and that is what you have. So you see me in a full regalia. This is the way you need to be in the lab. You must have your fire resistant lab coat if you're working at a very high temperature. You must have your helmet, you must have your goggle, you must have your hand gloves, because the temperature actually is very high and you won't want to burn yourself. So and I finished, so I quickly went back to turn off the high temperature, and I allowed the annealing temperature to continue. So anyway, these are the things that happened today, guys. I hope you enjoy science. I hope you admire us in the lab, and I hope you are inspired to begin to encourage your children to go more into engineering. Yes, it's a lot of things, it's a lot of developments. By the time I finish this research, I tell you, you know what that means.